restore my wrongs to rights. Now I'm a gangster.
I am a hip-hop gamer. One time, hip-hop gamer, hot 97. I was born and raised, Brooklyn, New York, ear to the streets. Walking my talk, it was notorious. Back in 94 on your hot 97, the station I heard it all, let's get it on, baby.
Yo, what's up, son? It's crazy, son. EA Sports, UFC 3, this is one of my favorite games, all right? Now, look, I got a chance to talk to Demetrious Johnson, all right? That's the champion that will whip your ass, like, for real, son. He's a gamer, and he can fight in real life. You know that. And also, Brian Hayes, that's my dude, son, the creative director on the game, all right? I got a chance to talk to them both. Let's find out what they had to say about UFC 3 coming soon next year. Let's go. Yo, what's up, man? It's the one and only hip-hop gamer. It's a special interview. We got game. Demetrious Johnson. Yo, God bless you, bro. My dude. How you feeling, man? What's up?
Feeling good. It's good to see you again.
All right, now it's good to see you, man. Now, look, I got to ask you right off the bat. Like, that arm bar, was that just the moment where you were just fighting and it just came out? Or is that something that you practiced and, like, studied and that you wanted to bring to the UFC?
Yeah, I've done that arm. I've done that sequence, that move sequence multiple times in the gym, all the time. And then to be able to bring it out in the octagon for, 11 title defense it was perfect. It was just perfect timing.
I was scared for the other dude. I was like, yo, you about to die. Like right there, it was crazy. So now we talking about UFC 3. Dude, the best thing about this game, in my opinion, is the angles. How you can now hit from angles. How important is that in like real life fighting? And how does it feel in the game when you're playing it?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, that was the biggest thing from the first one. The MP tech is really what makes this game a lot better. The movement and the way you can punch it backwards going forward, that was the big thing in UFC 2 that was very frustrating for guys like me who's a fighter, to where it's like, no, I can punch going backwards. I can punch backwards and throw a kick. Ooh, sorry. I can throw a kick backwards. I can do that. And when I wasn't able to do it in the other game, I was a little frustrated. So with this, they were able to fix that, and it makes it feel a lot better.
So now I gotta ask you this, man. Like, what's next for you in the sport of UFC? Because you dominated everything. So, like, what's next, or what's some of the things that you're looking to do that we probably never seen before, just like that armbar? Word up.
Right now, just chilling, man. Just chilling, relaxing, playing new games. Literally just chilling.
All right, so now you're saying playing new games. One thing that I want to bring to your attention with UFC 3, like your story. Now, I know Madden, they had their story, the long shot, that was dope. I would love to see like a story in UFC. Like, do you think, or is there something that y'all working on where we can actually see your story, like, in a game?
I'm not sure about that, but they do have the new career mode, how you're going to get more involved with like the career mode, like you saw in the trailer. You see, Nate Diaz, you saw Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor, and you also see Tony Ferguson and Conor McGregor. That fight hasn't happened yet, but you see Dana White. So I think they're going to take it to this story, and I think they kind of captured, you have the WFA, which is a league nobody ever heard of, and it's a stepping stone, how you go up through the tiers. And that's pretty much like, I would say everybody's story as an amateur or a fighter is almost the same. You start as an amateur, you get to the minor league. I fought for AFC, which are Alaska Fighting Championship, and then I got signed by, WEC, World Extreme Cage Fighting. That got merged to the UFC. Here I am today. So I'm pretty sure in the new career mode, you would have that same similar things like that.
Now, I got a couple more questions. Esports, do you feel that, because like we've seen this with the NBA, how they got their own esports league now within the NBA, and all the teams is getting behind it. Do you think there's room for like UFC? Do you think that's something that Dana White, and you could, give him your expertise in gaming knowledge, on having UFC have their own E-League, where you can actually have a tournament and get like professionals behind the game?
Well, at the end of the day, it all depends on what the UFC wants to do. Do they want to break into the business of esports, where I think that's the future? Because, I mean, when Twitch was on and they had the Olympics and they had Twitch on, the Twitch had way more viewers than Olympics did. Yeah. And you had so many more different things. So at the end of the day, it's up to the UFC. I mean, Madison Square Garden, they just attained CLG. A Capture League Gaming, I think it's called. Yeah. So does the UFC want to be in that business?
Yo, what's up, man? Look, you know who it is, man. HipHopGamer, Hot 97. You already know how I go down. My dude, Brian Hayes. Listen, this dude is the creative director for a game that will knock your ass out. Real talk. UFC 3. Dog, we back again. Oh, that's great. Always good to see you, son, man. Hype, man. So, look, first thing I want to tell you about the game is the angles. I love the fact that you can actually hit from different angles and everything isn't like a straight line. So, talk to us about the tech first. Like, what was it like to get rid of everything and then rebuild it from scratch? Talk to me.
Well, what it's like to get rid of everything, scary as hell, right? Like, I mean, for real, we have a little bit longer development cycle than other EA Sports games, but still when, we talk in early development and then like, your lead gameplay engineer is like, so I want to throw out the entire stand-up game. It's like, oh, okay, well that's a risky, that sounds, can we talk about this, But when we started to see what real player motion tech could deliver, like when we got hands-on with it, like there's probably maybe like 8-10 months ago when we finally got into the build, and even in those early stages, just hands-on, we were like, okay, we made the right decision here. This was the right investment. And then the best part for us is that like for the last 8 to 10 months, we've been playing the game and it's just been getting better and better and better. But even from day one, it's had that, fluidity, the ability to use angles to move while you're striking, and just created a completely different stand-up gameplay experience than we've had in the past. And, we've been, just like you're yelling over there, we've been yelling like that, bi-weekly gameplay sessions with the whole team, people screaming at each other. We're keeping stats of who's got the most wins and all that kind of stuff. It's been a complete blast. But that was the biggest. The scariest part was like, oh, we're going to throw out everything that we worked on the previous 2 games and build something from the ground up. That seems risky, but it's paid off in spades.
I could tell because I just played it. So now my next thing is the career mode. It seems like y'all taking it to a whole nother level, and it's a lot more deeper and a lot more meaningful, like the way you're doing it because of the goals and trying to become the GOAT. So in career mode, what's one of the most immediate changes that like gamers is going to notice when they pick the game up in February, right?
Well, I mean, the biggest change you're going to find out right away is that you don't start in the Ultimate Fighter like you used to. You start in the minor leagues. So there's a fictional minor league, the World Fighting Alliance. You start out there, and then based on how good you perform, that's going to determine whether or not you're like the UFC thinks you're a big superstar, and they're going to bring you up right away. They might think you're okay. They're going to put you on a season of the Ultimate Fighter, or you might kind of have a few more fights down there in the minor leagues, and you get brought up as, say, a late replacement for somebody. No matter what, you're going to make it into the UFC. But your performance is always going to determine your reward, so to speak, and the reward comes in the form of your UFC contracts. And as you're moving out throughout your career, you get given a contract. They give you contract goals. Depending on how well you accomplish those, determines the strength of your next contract. And then all along the way, the other thing that I think adds a really nice element is the rivalry. So every time you sign a contract, there's going to be somebody in the rankings that thinks you probably don't deserve that contract, and they're going to want to talk smack to you. I've had the experience playing the career mode on higher difficulties, but I lost a fight, and at the time, Luke Rockhold in my career was my rival. So I lost a fight, not against Luke Rockhold, but he was my rival at the time. He's the guy chirping at me on social media. So I got subbed by somebody, I don't know, some scrub. I felt bad, but I felt bad enough. But then I get a tweet from Luke Rockhold, and he's fictional Luke Rockhold, not in real life. But and then he starts talking smack about how I lost a fight by saying, and I felt really bad. Like it really bummed me out. But that also motivated me. I was like, okay, well, my next fight I'm gonna finish that guy, and then I know I'm gonna fight you next, Luke Rockhold. And I just was so motivated to smash him. So that element of bringing you face to face and having some back and forth with UFC personalities over in-game social media is a really nice touch that sort of brings the career mode to life as well.
I don't. Now, major question. Gotta hold the belt though, dog. Gotta hold the belt. You already know what it is. Major question, B. So now look, any special characters we can expect? Cause we done witnessed Bruce Lee. We done witnessed Mike Tyson. Is there anybody else that you think we would see in this game? Floyd Mayweather. Is there anybody that you think we would see in this game?
It's always stuff that we think about. There's no announcements right now. Some of the characters that you saw in the game last year are still in the game. Bruce Lee's still available.
Bruce Lee is still in too?
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, cool, bet.
But I mean, the Floyd question believe me, it's something we talked about. But certainly with all the hype that was around that last fight.
Yes.
But I mean, we need FIFA money to get Floyd.
Got you. Hey, real talk. I had to ask that question. So a couple more questions and we're gonna wrap it up. Now, my next thing is, when I was playing just now, it is completely different from UFC 2. So I'll give you your props on that. But what I want to ask is, in terms of like the learning curve when it comes to the ground game, what's the actual simple mode like? Like the way you, because I don't really like that analog stick either, but I'm one of those. But the simple mode, talk about that because I didn't see it up here.
So simple mode is just it's just simple submissions because no matter what we do to try and explain to people like how to play the submission game, some people are like, I just don't get it and I don't have time, so whatever. So the simple submission is basically it's just taking it back to like old school, you know, fighting game. Hey, you're in a submission, mash buttons to either get out or mash buttons to finish. So the simple way it works basically is that the AI knows how to play our submission game. If you play against AI on legendary difficulty, actually legendary difficulty you only unlock in career mode if you become the GOAT. But if you're playing on legendary difficulty, the AI will tap you quick. But the way the simple submission game works is basically you're mashing the button, and that is increasing the proficiency of the AI fighting the submission game for you, right? Gotcha. So it's basically, if the fight goes to the ground, somebody puts you in a submission, you guys can just mash buttons, and then one of you is going to win, one of you is going to lose based on how good you get the AI to fight for you. But there's no simple ground game overall. The ground game in terms of like takedowns and transitioning from, you know, full guard to half guard or all that stuff, that's still analog only. And where we're focusing there is trying to make a better in-game tutorial system and better tutorial videos that we have like the community create for us, because we've seen some some really good results in other games by doing that kind of stuff in sort of bringing out some of the nuance and what is engaging about these things. And hopefully when people watch that kind of stuff, they'll be like, okay, you know, there's something here, and I'm willing to go in there and maybe get tapped out once or twice just to learn, right?
Now, one thing that I'm pissed off about, though. One thing I'm pissed off about, son. Yeah, pissed off about. Okay, I want to put my face in the game, son. What's up, son? Like, can we have a feature where I want to be in the game for real? What's up?
So the game face is still old school game face. You know, go to eSports, upload 2 photos of yourself, download it to eSports profile, and you can go into Creative Fighter, download it into there, and your face is in the game.
All right, cool. Now I just had to check because they ain't talk about that. And when you were showing the slides.
That's just been there. That's been an EA Sports thing.
All right, cool. I wasn't sure if you did some new improvements, you know, on that. That's why I had to ask. All right, cool. All right, so we can still be in the game. All right, cool.
The EA Sports Game Face like website has been updated, and the user flow and all that stuff is like streamlined. It's a lot less complicated than it used to be. But
right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. And for the last question, now let me ask you this, and this is just I didn't see this in UFC 3. I'm not sure if it's something that'll be added over time, but do you think that like we'll be able to have something where online you can actually have like real championships for the community? So I'll give you an example, right? How Madden has their league and you could become the Madden champion and stuff like that. Like, do you guys got plans to have like a UFC league where you can actually have people in the community become the UFC champion in the game?
Well, a couple times we did last year. We had live event competitions. So we had one real world one where actually the finals were competed live on stage at the Fan Expo, right? So we did that on UFC 2, but then we also had live online live event competitions throughout the years, centered around events where you can enter in and it's like a leaderboard competition. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that real hardcore competitive gaming kind of stuff is, you know,
the game is ready for it, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's definitely something growing, and I think we still have the ability to support live event competitions. How far we grow it beyond that, I think we'll wait and see. How UFC 3 does and how people pick up the new stand-up gameplay. It's certainly, strategically what is there, in the gameplay. There's an opportunity there, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yo, listen, man. One love and God bless. Thank y'all for the support. We got game. Hope y'all enjoy the show. See y'all next week on your Hot 97 every day. That's my word. HipHopGamer. We out.
I was born and raised Brooklyn, New York.